of 30 days of going live to get your teenager to talk to you and listen to what you have to say is the goal, right? Oh my gosh, am I really doing this again? I seriously do not know why I'm struggling with this live. Okay. Seriously, hold on just a second. Live. Wow. Struggles. Okay. So here we are, day 7 of 30 days of going live to get your teenager to talk to you and ideally listen to what you have to say. And for some reason, whenever I go to Instagram, oh my gosh, seriously, I am so frustrated. I'm trying to go live in multiple places. All right, let's try this again. Third time's a charm, maybe. I'm trying to get it zoomed in on Instagram and it's zooming in way too much. So I'm just not going to do it anymore. 30 days of going live. I'm on day 7 of going live to get your teenager to talk to you. That is the goal of all parenting, right? To get your teenager to talk to you and care about what you have to say and listen to what you have to say, because I know you have so much wisdom to offer them if they would only listen. Am I right? So I'm sharing lots of different ways to get your teenager to talk to you. And guess what? A lot of these ways are things to work on within yourself, things that you may not realize. And I want to help you understand what I'm doing in this 30-day series is helping you understand why your teenager won't talk to you, and then invite you to more. I have a program called the Trusted Academy where we work on how, we work on the what, we work on the specifics of breaking the patterns so that your teenager will talk to you, because your teenager is not the problem. You're not the problem. The pattern that you are stuck in is the problem. I am here in this 30-day series to help you recognize that you have patterns. And then in my group coaching program is where I help you break those patterns so that you can become this trusted, emotionally safe, this emotional leader that your teenager doesn't want to just talk to you when they're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 in these teen years, but they want you around in their adult years as well. Isn't that the actual goal? Not just for here and now, but indefinitely as well. I hear so many parents say that they're hearing a lot of the no contact, they're hearing a lot of estrangement happening with adult kids, and they're very fearful of it. Tell me in the chat if that's something that you are afraid of, because I think it is very common for parents of teenagers when they're feeling this disconnect with their teen, they're like, oh my gosh, this is just going to be the rest of my life. Some parents are like, just put your head down. It's the teen years. We've heard that it's going to be bad. We're going to get through this. If we just put our head down and suffer through it, then on the other side, it's going to be fine. They're going to mature. Everything's going to be good. That has potential. And if your teenager, it so much depends on their reaction, right? If your teenager is actually saying you're judgmental of me, you're trying to control me, you don't actually care. If they're giving you this type of feedback, putting your head down isn't going to make much of a difference in most cases. What I'm here to teach you is this emotional leadership. Most of us didn't learn emotion processing or how to react. We think that we have to just stay stuck in these patterns. And today we're going to talk about the caveman brain. Have you ever heard about the caveman brain? This is not something that I made up. This is something that I've heard in, I'll just say, thought leadership that I've really resonated with and I've grabbed onto, because I think it's important to be able to understand about breaking patterns, because everything that I teach you is that your teenager is not the problem. You're not the problem. The pattern that you are stuck in is the problem. And patterns can be broken. Patterns can be rewired. But what's tricky is the caveman brain, which is where we stemmed from, right? It was taught 3 things. They are typically wired for 3 things, okay? 3. Comment in the chat, caveman 3. I want to see that you're listening. The caveman brain was wired for 3 things: to avoid pain, okay, which was all about protecting the family, staying in the cave, survive, don't get eaten by the tiger, the bears, tiger bears, whatever, lions, tigers, bears, oh my. So the caveman brain was wired to avoid pain, to survive, to do whatever it took to survive. Okay. The second thing the caveman brain was wired for is to seek pleasure. I mean, who doesn't want pleasure? Comfort and relief, and maybe, you know, they're killing that bear so they could eat some good bear meat. Also, staying in the cave. Okay. And number three that the caveman brain was wired for is to conserve energy, efficiency. They worked on autopilot, which a lot of parents work on autopilot as well. Even though you maybe say, oh, I'm trying so hard. I've been reading this book. Why is this so hard for me to actually do? Okay, so 3 caveman brains. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Avoid pain, seek pleasure, conserve energy. That is where our primitive brain is wired for. Most of us are wired for the same thing. I mean, the caveman brain evolution, right? That is your brain. It's also wired for those same 3 things too. And when you recognize your patterns could be shifted and altered and broken, you want to do it and it's hard to do. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to do it. Oh, I've learned this thing. I'm going to do it. You have to actually rewire your brain. So what I want you to know, like I said, is this pattern, this brain pattern that your caveman brain has been running for all of this time can be broken. Okay, I want to make sure you can hear me. Yesterday, I had somebody say that they couldn't hear me on the mic. Let me know if you can't hear me, because that would be tragic if that were the case. Or let me know if you can hear me, right? Just say, I can hear you, and I'll keep going from there. I wish I could zoom in, but the last time I zoomed in, it zoomed in like on my freckle. And I'm like, no, we're not going to be doing this. Again, that happened yesterday too. I'm trying to zoom it in just perfectly, and it didn't work. Okay, so here's how I want you to think about this caveman brain. Your brain is on autopilot, reacting from the primitive space, right? It's not intentional. You're trying to be this trusted mom, this emotional leader. And okay, yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. And so our brains are wired to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and conserve energy. And so when your teenager does something like they roll their eyes or they ignore you, or heaven forbid they lie, I got a lot to say about lying. Maybe that's a conversation for another day. Your mom, primitive caveman brain goes to, this is threatening, right? Because you're trying to avoid pain. They start to shut down. You're seeking relief. Your brain is like, I can't do this right now. I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to tell them they cannot talk to me like that. They cannot be disrespectful or like that, okay? Because they're trying to seek this relief. And when you're trying to conserve energy, your brain reacts the same way you always do, which even though you don't like it, that's what you're wired for. That's the pattern that you are stuck in. So it often creates the same reaction from yourself, the same shutdown from your teenager, the same pattern. That is a loop that keeps going over and over and over because your caveman brain is wired for something else. Let's see. No sound. See, somebody else just, oh, can't hear you. Okay, so they're saying, let's see if I can undo this. All right, let's try this now. So your caveman brain is wired to avoid pain, seek relief, and conserve energy. Okay, so let's see. Something happened to the sound. All right, I might need to do that one over again. We'll do that a little bit later. So what I want you to know is your reaction, it's not random. It's trained. It's the loop that it's been in. And right now your brain is wired to protect you, not to become trusted by your teenager, because it is a different pattern. You are rewiring your pattern. So what I want you to think of is, don't just tell yourself, I'm going to stop reacting. I want you to think that you are retraining your brain to choose connection even when it's uncomfortable. That's what I help moms do in the Trusted Academy. This is the private group coaching that I have. We talk about patterns all the time. We talk about breaking patterns, and we talk about it takes immersion. It takes practice. It doesn't just take saying, I'm going to stop reacting. You're practicing in this space with other moms who are doing the same thing. You're immersing in the trusted language. It's just like when you were in high school and you learned Spanish from the book. Could you speak Spanish very well? Not so great. But when you move to another country, you are immersed in the language, and it becomes more natural. Your brain gets rewired. Now I want you to think of this analogy. I love hiking, so I love thinking about hiking. So you go hiking, you're going with your family, you're going on this well-worn path, right? You don't really have to think about where you go. As long as you can get to the start point, most of the time, the path meanders like this, and you just follow the path. And that is a lot of what your brain is doing. It's following the path. Every time your team does something frustrating, you're walking that same trail. React, escalate, disconnect. That is the conflict loop that I've talked about in my workshops that goes over and over. It's fast, it's automatic, it's efficient. You know, you've been there before, you've done it before. You may not like it, but it's familiar. What I teach is how to step off the path. I know, heaven forbid, we're going to go off the path. There's often lots of signs on hiking trails that say don't go off the path. However, I want to invite you to consider, okay, coming to a fork in the road, going off the path. You are rewiring, you are forming a new path with your teenager. You don't want to go down the same path again. Am I right? You want to create a new pathway. And it's not always easy. You're taking your machete, you're going through the jungle and you're chopping like this, right? So you want to think about rewiring the path that you have been stuck in. Okay, yes, working now. These little mics never know how to trust these things. What I want to teach you, what I want to lead you to do on this path is I'm going to be in front of you saying, come this way. And you're like, oh, I don't know. I got to take my machete. I got to chop down all the stuff. And I'm like, I know, I got you. You just got to take it. You got to start chopping. It's going to be uncomfortable to rewire your brain, to take a new path, to forge a new path. And it feels slower at first. It's very unfamiliar. And so it is uncomfortable, but it creates a completely different outcome. If you're tired of going on this same path over and over in this conflict loop where you freak out and your teenager reacts and responds and it forms disconnect, you don't have to stay there. You can rewire your brain, and I'm here to help you do that. So as I wrap this up, because I'm at 15 minutes, I'm going to have to do this Instagram again because it seems like the video wasn't working at the beginning. I want you to consider your caveman brain. Remember, it's wired for 3 things. I always forget it, so I got to look at my notes because it confuses my own brain sometimes. Avoid pain, right? Your caveman brain's taught to survive. Sometimes with your teenager, you're just trying to survive, and I get that. But we're into thriving around here. We're not into just surviving. We're into thriving in our relationships. And I'm here to tell you it can be done. I consider myself a recovering overreactor, and I'm here to teach you that same path. Oh, avoid pain, seek pleasure, conserve energy. Those are what are your 3 things that your caveman brain is wired for. And I'm here to teach you how to rewire that brain. So if you're ready to rewire, what I've got now is a freebie that I'm sharing. When you comment 5 after this live is done, I will send you 5 multi-use phrases to say this, not that. You're going to get this freebie. And then this freebie is going to come, and there's going to be an opportunity to upgrade that freebie to 50 different conversations that you can have depending on what's going on with your teenager. And you save it on your phone, kind of like an app. It's really great. It's really exciting. It's brand new. You save it on your phone for these multi-use. And if you're finding, I am trying to say all the right things, it's just not working, I'm teaching another workshop next week, brand new, that you can come into and really learn how to be that emotional leadership. Sometimes it's just tweaking your words. Most of the time it's tweaking your words and changing your approach, creating a new path. I'm here to help you break those patterns, to forge a new path with your teenager, because you don't have to stay stuck in the place that you're in. When you keep reacting the same way, even when you don't want to, doesn't mean that you're a bad mom. It's because your brain is wired like the caveman. All of our brains are wired with certain patterns that we witness throughout our lives with our parents and their parenting. Maybe we saw other people do different things. Patterns can be broken. I'm here to tell you that. Your teenager is not the problem. You're not the problem. Your brain is running an old pattern, and no one ever taught you to rewire it. I am here to teach you how to rewire it. Send me a message if you can't find the links that I'm talking about, and we will discuss the workshop. We can have a one-on-one clarity call where we talk about what it looks like to step into actually rewiring your brain. Okay, I'm going to end this. Thanks for coming to day 7. If you missed the other days, go check them out. They're also posted. Farewell. So long.